So be very deliberate about your spiritual growth. Don't take it as know God very well. I love to see women who hear God. Who hear God. You can direct, there's some foolish decisions that a man can make or can want to make, and it is what God said that will prevail. You wake up in the morning and your husband knows, when you're married, your husband knows that you're spiritual. You just wake up in the morning and say, God said you should not go to so place. Or you wake up in the morning and give him a word of knowledge. You say, honey, do you know any Mr. Shola? He will say, yes. Don't do business with him today. So how do you know Mr. Shola? He said, Mr. Shola will come by 9 p.m. and he will tell you he wants you to do this and that and the other. Don't do it. Do you know if that man goes to the office and a Mr. Shola shows up by 9 p.m. and says exactly what the woman says, you know he will come back and pay offering. From that time, anytime he wants to do anything, he will say, honey, what's the Lord saying? See, your husband doesn't listen to you, or this generation of men don't listen to women. If you are spiritual, he will listen to you. When you wake up in the morning and say, there's somebody who will call you now, take the opportunity. Millions. And then you take the opportunity and millions. He will just buy you a car as he's coming back. Say, thank you, honey. My prophet, my prophet. Be deliberate about your spiritual growth, all right? Not just for marriage, for your life. Spiritual growth, when you are single, the Bible says it is the best time to actually grow spiritually. When you're single, when you're married, you won't have time again. And it's the truth. You won't have time. You would cut your life into different pieces. You have to take care of your wife. You have to take care of your husband. You have to take care of the children. You have to take care of your in-laws. If you mistakenly marry a family where they do party every weekend, they celebrate everything, you will go. If you don't go, you'll be the witch. You make your husband look bad, or you make your wife look bad. You will go. And if you marry that kind of family, you will need money. Because the person will be traveling. Imagine now they say, okay, our uncle, our grand uncle, you know our father's brother, sister that gave birth to one boy. That boy, you know that boy now? You know the boy was sick for a long time. He's doing his 21st year birthday celebration in Canada. You know you look for tickets. Are you following what I'm saying? Be deliberate. Also be very deliberate. I'm trying to see which one to take. Okay, be deliberate about your spiritual and secular mentors. See, this mentorship thing is what changes a marriage for good or for bad. What you see is what you reproduce. What you see. Many people are doing relationship the way they saw somebody do it. There's nobody who has original way to do relationship. Do you hear what I said? There is nobody who has original way. I don't have original way to do relationship. I saw somebody do it the way they are doing it. And because it's working, I chose it. But if all that you do is surround yourself with people who... Are you guys following what I'm saying? If all you do is surround yourself with people who are doing it wrongly, you too will do it wrongly. For instance, when I was growing up, I saw there is always a special plate for my father. All right? How many of you have fathers like that? Special plate. That place where he eats with, and then special chair. When he comes out, that's where he sits. So that's his chair and all of that. That is okay until it becomes a problem. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. When you enter into your own home, if you don't re-evaluate the things, you will also... My time is up, Abby. My time is up. Praise the Lord. We have evangelism. So, what I'm trying to say is that mentorship, all right? You have to choose your mentors right. Choose them very right. Be deliberate about who you go to watch, whose people's marriage you're watching. I'm telling you. You know, when people will come, I've had the privilege to speak to a lot of people who divorced. All right? And what they say in public and what they say to me are two different things. what they say in public is very different from what they say to me as regards their personal life. What is happening with them at the moment. So stop listening to certain kinds of people. I remember when I heard a pastor say that he and his wife, they don't insult each other, they don't shout at each other, they don't do all of those. I was shocked because, like I always say, I grew up in a place where that is the norm. I don't know if you can relate with that. Where fighting, shouting, beating each other is a normal thing. It's the norm. To the point where there are people who think that if you don't react violently, you are not strong enough. If that is the image you have, you're going to be in trouble. Change it. Marriage, there are good marriages. Marriage is sweet. Marriage is good. You know, when you have just one person in the world where you know this will have my back. This is the one person that has my back. And especially when the person is your friend. To marry your friend, so you can be able to talk. So you'll not be shy. So that if anything happens to you, you can go home and cry. And she's the only one that can see you cry. It's a beautiful thing, You will not have high blood pressure. Marry your friend, so you can talk, Yeah. Because most times you think that the thing that happens a lot in marriage is talking, gisting. Gisting, No matter how super strong you are, you won't be able, all those images that they are painting, or when you watch all those movies, where they will be rolling on fan, it's not true, It's not true, Breaking plate, breaking TV. It's not true. TV is expensive these days. They don't go near it. It's not true. This thing you will enjoy the most in this thing called marriage is that there is one person you will find out that talking is therapeutic. When you can go, and not this talking that we talk. Most people don't have people they can talk to. They are giving half truth. When you have a conversation with someone and all you are saying the one that you want the person to hear. But when you're in a relationship where there is strong friendship, you say everything as it is. You will lie down. You will just be talking and nonsense. Is that one person that will be hearing all your foolish ideas? Say, sweetheart, you have a van and you have 4 children. You say, babe, I just woke up this morning and I feel like let's sell this our van. Let's go and buy a power bike. It's fast. He said, you know that if we buy a power bike, we'll not be taking children to school late again. You have not, get sense. You are saying nonsense. But the truth of the matter is, if that nonsense does not come out, you will not be okay. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. And so, when you married, your wife too will now look at you and say, honey, this idea is beautiful. But I think that we should hold on. God can bless us to buy a power bike and still have a van. You say, that's true. But you want to have somebody you can tell those things to. It's not a place where you go and be doing seriousness. Some of the men here now, you think that marriage is where you go and stand. Everybody attention. No, it's a beautiful place. It's not a place where you are going to show your soldier skill. No. It's not government work. It's a fun place. No. Praise the Lord. We don't have time, but it is well. Then lastly, just work on your self-image. All right? Work on your self-image. See, the way a man or a woman treats you is the way they see you. Is the way they see you. If you project yourself as somebody who is not worthy or somebody who does not have value, that's how they're going to take you. It is how you present yourself. That is how other people take you. What you will not permit, don't allow anybody do it to you. If you are calling somebody you're in a relationship with, and you will call, and the person will pick it. I know the person is busy, but the person should at least send you a text to say, sorry, I'm in a meeting. I will get back to you. That is value. But you call the person in 3 days, the person has not picked, and the person has not sent you a message to return. The person doesn't value you. And it's not the person's fault. It's that you're telling the person, I am not that valuable. If you lose a relationship, you will not die. Do you understand what I'm saying? Don't let anybody say you will not find another man better than me, or you will not find another girl better than me. It's a big lie. There are many of them still waiting for you to just leave that useless guy. Value yourself. Don't take nonsense. Don't take nonsense. Because many people have taken nonsense in the relationship. And then when in marriage, everything multiplies. Because you live together now. When the nonsense, they will now come and be disturbing me. Don't take the nonsense. Praise the Lord.
Praise God. Thank you so much, sir. That was, I don't know. I barely have anything to say on that. Anyway, so let's go straight to our next session. That's our last session for today before the question and answer session. So please, guys, if you have any question, please write it, give it to any of the ushers. The speakers will take it one by one and answer your questions. So let me go and let me introduce our last speaker for today. She's my Oga at the top. Oga at the top, Mrs. Eniola Peters. Please just clap for her. Oh, okay. So she's the founder of the Kayi Lady. And the Kayi Lady, basically, it's a ministry for people. It's a ministry for women, actually. Purpose and Life Enhancement Ministry, whereby we women will try to exemplify the Proverbs 31 woman in our day-to-day activities. So please, she's my mama. She's our Oga at the top. Actually, she's one of the masterminds behind the Singles Connect of Oli Hill. Thank you so much, my mama.
Please don't clap. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. Is it 9 minutes? Okay. I'm not talking. I'm sure you guys know I'm not coming to talk, right? How have you been? How's the conference been so far? I'll talk now. I mean, Pastor has come, he has broken the table, Dr. C has broken table, my Pastor Harrison has broken table. What table am I here to break again? There's no table again now. So I'm just going to recap on everything everybody has said and talk a little bit, and then ask Dr. C and Pastor Harrison to come on stage so we can just take your questions. Is that fine? So that we can go home and come back for evangelism. All right, so Pastor Ayo said something. She said, it's only the love of God that can help you heal from your past. Do we agree with that? Okay, so basically, I want to talk on what they call unfettered life. Who knows what unfettered means? Hello? You can check your dictionary. What does unfettered mean? Who wants to tell me? Sorry? Someone said something. Being free. Yeah. So basically, unfettered life means being free, living a free life from your past, from whatever has happened in the past. God does not want you to be chained. That's basically what living an unfettered life means. Are we together? Things happen, Pastor Aya said, give an example of when he was growing up and the pastor thing happened. That kind of experience can shape someone's life to the extent that he would not be a pastor now. Do we agree? Because he felt all the pastors ganged up against him. So who is a pastor safe? I mean, if you guys can relate, please let me know. Because sometimes things happen in our lives when we're young, and that particular thing is what is determining your lifestyle, your decisions now. Let me give you an example. I don't wear sleeveless. Who can guess why I don't wear sleeveless? Let's talk now, you guys. Who can guess why I don't wear sleeveless? Sorry? No, my friends didn't allow me to wear trousers, but one day I saw my mom's picture. She was wearing jumper and trousers. That's the day I carried myself to the market. I bought trousers. I came home, I wore trousers. My mom was like, who? I now said, see, that's the end. But that's not it. The reason I don't wear sleeveless is because there was a time I wore a sleeveless top when I was still coming up, and someone said, I see your fat hand. And that's it. I felt, if I wear sleeveless, everybody will see my fat hand. Abi? So it's better not to wear sleeveless so that people will not come and meet me to say you have a fat hand. Until date, even in my house, when I wear sleeveless, I am unconsciously conscious of the fact that maybe my husband or someone will come and tell me you have a fat hand. How many of us can relate to that? How many of us can relate to that? Now you see, there are some things that happened when you were younger that is informing that is my personality. We all say that thing. That's my kind of person. They say, why do you do black hair? It's my kind of person. It's not your kind of person. It's just something that happened. If you ask Dr. Sue now, somebody's telling me that it's because my hand is fat, I should not wear sleeveless. You can already imagine the kind of answer she will give the person based on our conversation here. Are we right? Are we together? Because I could have easily said, well, fat hand or no. And I see people that have bigger hands and they wear sleeveless and they're okay. So what's my problem? That's number one. The point is to be a free person. I mean, to experience the full love of God, to experience a great mental health, to have a great relationship, you need to understand why you do what you do. And you need to understand that you need to actually live an unfettered life. Are we together? Unfettered life means don't let anything determine what is going on with your life. Don't let, because somebody did it in the past, because somebody said it in the past, he now says this is the kind of person I am. No, you need to actually discover yourself in the love of God. Are we together? You need to actually sit down and say, if this thing did not happen, is this the kind of person I will be? So maybe I should bring it home. Growing up, I used to see my dad cheat. I mean, we're bringing it home, right? He used to bring not home because my mother would kill them. But he had an office that I used to work in. And I'll see plenty girls, yellow slay queens and all that. And it informed my brain that all men cheat. Girls, if you are with me on this, raise your hand. I grew up assuming, concluding that all men cheat. So even if I got married, the man would cheat. Are we together? So I had already settled in my mind that all men cheat. Abi, do you believe that every relationship I had ended because the man cheated? To tell you how strong the image you see determines your lifestyle. Do you understand what I'm saying? This is just a practical example. The moment I removed that image from my eyes, thanks to experiencing the extreme excess love of God, that I went to a worship and God actually sat me down. It was not man, it was God. I didn't have any conversation with a counselor or anything. It was God that told me it's not all men that cheat. Women too cheat. So you can as well say all women cheat. Men too will say, men that have experienced it, they'll tell you all women too cheat, right? Until I removed it before I actually experienced a great relationship. And I'm not even joking about it. That is the point of living an unfettered life. Accepting that, no, this is not the person I want to be. Are we together? This is not who I want to be. I don't see. So because my mother had a bad marriage does not mean I will have a bad marriage. You need to remove it from your eyes. Like Pastor Harrison said, what are you seeing? You can actually remove yourself from your family. As in spiritually, emotionally, Maybe not physically, because some of us, we can't do without them. You can be staying with your parents and not be their child. Are we together? Do you understand? Pastor Aya said it. He said the moment that thing happened, that pastor became his father. He grew up with the father, but he knows himself that there are things that he can't ask this man. You're going to ask this other man. Are we together? You can remove yourself. If there's anything in the family, if there's any curse, if there's anything, you don't have to say, oh, in my family, oh, they don't always make money. So me too, I'll be broke. We can't leave that. We have to remove the chains by ourselves. Are we together? We have to consciously tell ourselves that no, this is not who I want to be. Which means if you're telling yourself this is not who you want to be, then you have to have an image of who you want to be. I mean, when I started looking for a job like almost 12 years ago, I knew I did not want to work in a bank. Any other thing, I don't know. But I know what I don't want. So when a job for bank came, it came on a platter of gold. I told the person, I called my best friend, do you want a job? She said, yes, go and take it. And she took it. And she was like, are you okay? Why would you give your job out? I was like, because I know. I know I don't have the energy, I don't have the time to be spending 12 hours inside bank. I will not have a life. And that's it. But I knew that, okay, what I don't know is what I want to be. How many of us are in that phase? You know what you don't want. At least, it's very important you know what you don't want. If you know what you don't want, getting what you want is easy. Because if you step here and you know, I don't want to fall down, you move here, right? But if you know if you don't want to fall down or not, you can decide to want to jump. If you bring a child here now, they want to jump. They don't know. They are not really interested in staircase. Are we together? But you know, let me not fall down. Or let me embarrass my destiny. Let me go and pass here. Are we together? So the thing is, you need to know what is making you fettered. What is causing that chain? Why are you the way you are? Those are the questions you need to ask yourself. Why do I do things this way? Is it because of this? Is it because of that? Once you have answers to that, you will know the next steps. Are we together? Yeah, so I'm done. Okay, so just because of time, let's invite Dr. Suyi. Please, Dr. Suyi, please come on. Pastor Harrison. So if you have any questions on anything whatsoever, mental health, relationship, life generally, please just ask. We have like 30 minutes, right? BC? 20, 30 minutes to answer. So please, where are the questions? Thank you. Where are the questions? Ushers. Please, the ushers, where are the questions? Maggie? All right. Sorry. If you want to ask, maybe if you've not written it out and you want to ask, please, the mic is going around. Okay, please just give it to her. Please, just your name and your question. Thank you.
Okay, Pastor Harrison, my name is Omolola Adekunle. Thank you so much for the preaching, especially about value. And I want to say that most of us start relationship without even saying that the other person, because they change and they switch overnight. Okay, for instance, you're in a relationship with somebody, you think the guy is a Christian. You lay everything out on the table, no sex, nothing, and all of that. And then you start to date. And along the way, maybe the person can't cope with your principles, God's principles. And then this person starts to ignore your calls and all that. And now feelings have really developed. I believe in really trying to sustain a relationship. You fight for what you have because you're already in love with this person. At that period, it looks like you don't have value. And all you're trying to do is just to sustain and to fight for that relationship. But of course, we have to let go at some point. So I just want to say, does that mean, the person has a low self-esteem because you want to fight? And, especially when feelings are really developed. at that point. Thank you, sir.
So, value is, when you value yourself, one of the things you don't sacrifice that value for anything. Because, like you said, at the end of the day, you still lose that person. When you lose the person, the sad part is that you'll be so much damaged because you allowed yourself to compromise on your value. But you see, most times when you stay with your value, if the relationship works, you will remain valuable in the eyes of the person forever. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So that, yes, I understand the emotions, I understand the love you have for the person and all of those, but stay with your value. You can't treat me like this, no matter the circumstance. All right? You can pet the person, you can talk to the person, you can do all of those, but you will tell the person, if I call you, you should return my call, or at least send me a text to tell me what's up. To ignore my call means you don't value me, and I cannot take that. It is good because the journey, if you eventually marry that kind of person, is a long journey. The person can go to work, and work can be really genuinely stressful. And the person will think that you should stay like that. You know, I was talking to somebody and I said, see, this marriage thing, what happens is that in the beginning you create systems with your behaviors, whatever it is that you're allowing, whatever thing you're giving, you create system. So whatever system you don't like in the beginning, negotiate it. Talk about it. And I think it was Pastor Kinsey at one time was saying that a man will tell you the kind of woman he wants. I want a woman that pay attention. I want a woman that will do this. I want a woman. The woman too must be able to tell the man what she wants. I like it when you call me. I like it when you return my call, even if you're busy. I'm not saying that you should spend your time to tell me. My wife will send me a text. She taught me how to do that because that's how much she values herself. She sends me a text, and the text, in my opinion, does not require a reply. Please buy bread when you are coming. In my mind, there is no reply to that. Because I'm first of all saying that, oh, where will I even go and see the bread serve? And then, please. I'm already grumbling in my heart. So in my mind, that does not require a reply. When I get back, she will say, I'm with the bread. She will ask me, did you see my chat? I said, of course I saw it. I'm with bread. Say, so what you do is you say, okay. I say, okay. So when she sends me a chat, even if I don't see it, anytime I see it, even if I've completed the task, I will still reply, okay. Or yes. Or no. That is value. Many times we use understanding. I understand to destroy our self-worth. When somebody is doing something to you that you know that you don't like, it will help you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so one of the things that we didn't talk about today was, understanding personality. So first of all, there's a tool that I shared with the teenagers. It's just a tool, it's just trying to get to know yourself. I can also share, when somebody feels inferior, two things are in play. First, okay, and source comes as a result of about yourself breaking out, being free. You just remember that you cannot be anything after all because of this. And that is your closely guarded secrets. Okay? The reason, for example, why a woman will get to a point where she knows that I need to count my losses, which is why we talked about sunk cost and move on, and continue, is because there's something that she holds as a negative experience that she guards closely and doesn't want anyone to know. And she feels that this relationship, you see a boy grab, this guy is more popular, this guy has more clout. I want to go with him because anyone that goes with him is also cool. And so we now don't deal with those issues. Now, when you identify that you have, or when you identify that I feel inferior, I feel that is the journey, the first journey that we now need to embark on. The only thing that can solve that problem is to come to the feet of God and get help. Because it's only the love of God that can break those barriers that make you feel less than nothing. Having said that, if they are the clinical psychologists, okay, let's evaluate this. Let's know your personality. Let's know your strengths. Let's do almost like do a SWOT analysis of you. The person was like, hey, psychologist. I'm saying, no. So sometimes when you talk to people, part of the reason why they feel inferior, so I've given you the first reason, is because you are linking something to your life. I mean, if, for example, somebody has been raped, that's a very delicate experience, very painful, traumatic experience. It sometimes we experience things that make us feel less than who we should feel about ourselves. So the first thing is that you cannot break free on your own. You need help. So please, that's the very first message. You need help. The second message is that it's the love of God that can break that. Thank God we're in a very strong church community. And the third thing is that if along the line, during counseling or speaking to you, there are some psychological issues that need to be handled medically, please feel very free to get medical help, so that as God, you rediscover God's love for your life, you can also get the help you need to get back on your feet. Don't fight it alone.
It's a good time to clap, actually. Thank you, Ma. Okay, so Pastor Harrison said, is it possible to have a good marriage with someone you already have sex with, as in premarital sex? And how do you resolve issues? Like, how do you move from issues?
How do you solve? Okay, so, oh yes, of course, you can have a good marriage even if you have had sex with someone, all right? But the thing about premarital sex is that one of the things it does is that it introduces distrust. And you don't know. Because if you can break God's command about something, in your heart, you would be feeling, even though people don't usually say it, that this person too can break God's command about staying faithful to your husband and to your wife. So what happens is that if you've had sex, and there are many people that have done that, is we'll sit them down and counsel them. Stop it. So what happens is, now obey God. Before we get married, let's obey God. If you guys can obey God till you get married, then there's no problem. But if you cannot obey God, then there's a problem. Do you understand what I'm saying? So what I'm trying to say is that if it has happened, it means you disobeyed God. Now tell yourselves, now let us obey God and see. If you are able to obey God because the temptation will be higher than before if you guys had not had sex. It will be higher. So if you guys can obey God, it will help take away that distrust. Right? And that is fine. When they say that when people have premarital sex, they don't usually have good marriages, is that it's obvious that these people are not disciplined enough to obey God. The same thing that God says, don't sleep with another person. If you're a married person, don't commit adultery. Right? If you're a single person, don't commit fornication. So if you're a single person, you commit fornication, it means that as a married person, you can also do that. But if you tell yourself that I will obey God till we get married, there's usually no problem. There are many people who are married who have beautiful marriage. You understand what I'm trying to say? So resolving conflict depends on the nature of the conflict. I can't say how depends on the nature of the conflict. All right? But the basic thing is that first and foremost, know that you are not a saint. You are not perfect. Many times is our perfectionist attitude that we bring to a relationship that makes it look like the other person is bad. Your own complaint So what happens is the moment you see yourself as I am not perfect, it is easier for you to accommodate the little fault of another person and able to listen to the person and see how you can be resolved. And the other thing is that you must decide that this thing must be resolved. Many times we go into a conflict without wanting to resolve it. We just want to say our mind. Do everything. When I have issues to deal with my wife, the first thing I'm telling myself is that I want to resolve this. I don't just want to talk. I don't like talking. I want to solve the problem. So sometimes the conditions for solving that problem may be very high. I'm ready to meet it. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because the goal is to solve the problem. So like I said, it depends on the nature of the problem. We can know what to actually say. That is quite vague. You can't just say, there are some problems that needs you to be firm. There are some problems that need you to see a counselor. And then let me tell you something. When you go to talk to a counselor, right? It's not because the counselor is perfect. Right? It is because the counselor will provide another voice into that mix. There are too many times where the things you are saying, because your partner is angry with you, they are not hearing it. When you go to a counselor, the counselor will say the same thing, and that your same partner will say, very true. What happened is the same thing, is that the other person is hearing it, will be uncaring. But when you go to that space where a third person you trust is helping you just chip in some things, it is easier for you to probably listen and then take correction. And then it's a wise thing, it's not weakness. It's a wise thing to go. And if you have a business, if you're doing a business and you need your stock, you go and meet somebody who has done that business before. When it comes to marriage or relationship, why do you think that it will be a problem? But the person must be a trusted person. And the person must be someone that the both of you agree to be able to talk to.
All right. Thank you, sir. 3 questions here for Pastor Harrison as well. Number 1, should you remain in a relationship the guy has cheated and apologized? Or the girl? Either of the 2. Do you understand? Yeah. Then number 2, should you marry a man without a source of income? Sorry, Omi, I will say, well, it depends. Before he answers. Then number 3, should you let go of friends, good friends, to keep a relationship? So background, she's quite involved in church and all that, but the boyfriend doesn't want her to have friends everywhere. So he wants her to cut down, or she wants him to, I don't know who, cut down her friends anyway, just so she can have him. So she's asking, is it okay?
So, I know you are doing but if they are bad influence, then you should cut now. No, she said they are not bad. They are good influence. So, of course not. You know, when somebody wants to destroy you, when lion wants to kill the prey, he will first isolate you. The moment they isolate you, most people who are violent, now forgive me to use, most men who are violent, one of the first things that they do is cut you from your family. That's one of the first things. So even in the eyes of counseling people, when you see someone, especially if it's a guy, who is beginning to, who doesn't want you to call your mother, your father, your brother, your sister, your uncle, your everybody, that person has a tendency of control. And if you don't bend to their bidding, they will extend it, they would be violent. So, no, don't cut, especially when you are not married to the person. That's why marriage is very complicated. See, if you are in a relationship, there are some things you cannot give. One of the things you cannot give is sex. The second is submission. You cannot give submission to somebody who has not married you. So somebody is saying that, do you understand what I'm saying? He said, oh, why are you not taking the job in Port Harcourt? He says, because I'm in a relationship with somebody. No. It's even safer for you. It's safer for you. Because if people are at distance, you are not in the same space, there will be no temptation will reduce. Abi? All right, so that is important that you don't do those kind of things. Until the person marries you, the person has no right over your life. Your decision remains your decision. It is until the person marries you that you guys can start blending decisions, because now we are one. But before that time, you have a free will, you have a mind of your own. Make decision. You can make decision to favor them, but the decision must still be yours. Now, if you decide to cut the friends, it is your decision. Not because they are asking you to do that. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. What was the other one?
Cheating. Partner is cheating.
So if, see,
Cheat and apologize.
people are leaving marriage because somebody cheats. I don't know why relationship is hard to leave.
So I just want to add something to that first point about isolation. Okay, one of the biggest things that we must avoid as humans first, before we even talk about relationships, is social isolation. Once you are on your own, there are just so many things that you are so vulnerable because there's no one to talk to. There are a lot of things that we spend our time trying to understand and achieve that we can just easily achieve when you are in a community. You cannot be alone. So anyone that seeks to isolate you is setting you up for destruction. And that's part of what we talked about, the whole concept of boundary setting. What are the things that I need? It's something that you need to kind of sit down, put your pen and paper and put together. What are the things? First of all, we must understand that achieving optimal well-being is not something that we think about as singles. When you get married, you also have to talk about your well-being, that within the marriage, how do I have that optimal well-being? It is those things that you have kind of begun to think about that you would continue to do to enhance that. So anything that keeps you in a state where you are completely alone, no one to talk to. A lot of people that on the gender-based violence side, a lot of women that I work with, the very first thing, I'll just give you only one example just to help. There was this lady who within her marriage, her husband didn't want, colleagues, if she talks to, something is happening between you and your colleagues, this friend. So he got her to a point where she had no friend, not a human being. So the day that he beat her up, 6 months pregnant, she ran, because we had been, talking, she ran to us, and then we're running a center in Lagos. And there was nobody she could talk to, so she ran to us because we had spoken to her before. Immediately, this man kind of stabbed her on the neck. She was just lucky to have made it out. Immediately, the husband found out that she was in the center. We were about to even start the proceeding, get her treatment, get her counseling, and showed up. She said she was not interested in talking to anybody again. She was not even interested in talking to her family. She was like, I'm going home with him. I said, it's okay. It's fine. She just dismissed every single person, people that took her to do, everybody, she dismissed them. Why? Because he had created an environment where she had no other human being on the planet, including her mother, except him. And it's very difficult at that point to help, because she says, it's my decision, I'm not doing it again. I'm fine, forget all the things I told you. So isolation at any level in your life, and even more critical within relationships, is very dangerous.
Thank you, ma'am.
Let me mention something about the cheating thing. Now, this may sound when you're not married to someone, the person just sinned against God or has a character flaw. Because it is when you get married, think that it is not, even when you need to move on from the person, say, oh God, this is a sin against God. I can't be. It doesn't. So,
without the source of
people, the first thing you should look out for is their who had source of income. This thing I'm saying, you understand what I'm trying to say? So I'm not saying that marry somebody who is lazy. I'm saying look for somebody who has the ability to earn. What it means is that if 2 years, 3 years, the person so you can be with a guy who has a job. If that guy loses that job, can he earn? Can he get another job? What can he do? Because if you're just looking at, oh, now he works in GTB, he works in GTB, he works in GTB. A lot of women have entered into that trap. And you know, one of the things that happens when a guy loses his job, insecurity sets in. When insecurity sets in, one of the other signs is that the person becomes violent. Because now there's no money, I have to control you somehow. So if your wife now maybe goes to work and you are at home, and then your wife comes back, and normally she will say, "Kai, this place is dirty." You will not think, is it me? You are saying I'm the houseboy now because I don't have a job. Insecurity. So look for someone that has capacity to earn. Look for someone then he can be earning, but not like to spend, but just on himself or herself. Do you understand the difference? A greedy person doesn't like and if GTB mistakenly take that they are 15 naira, you'll be angry. That's a greedy person. He won't spend the money. Can even die and he has billions. But a stingy person is that he like percent, shoe, chain, bag, clothes, trips, balling, those kind of things. So you watch out for. That's more important than.
Okay, thank you, sir. There's a question for Dr. C, but I just want to quickly ask this one. This person says there's a girl he likes and wants to be close to, but she's not giving him the same vibe. What should he do? How does he shoot his shot?
Kidnap her now, kidnap. Just kidnap her. See, let me tell you something. See, so let me also say this. Yeah? Some ladies can do shakara. Right? Some ladies can actually do shakara. So you play the game if you can. Stay there. Sometimes proximity changes mind. You know how beauty fell in love with the beast? It's called proximity. If you stay in the picture long enough, I'm just telling you because I've seen too many marriages like that. All right? Just stay in the picture. Sometimes it's not like the lady is not giving you the vibe. Sometimes she may not even be ready mentally for marriage or for relationship. All right? Or some of them just came out from one that was very bad and they're not trying to enter into another one, especially that you now resemble the ex. And she just see the slap that the guy gave her last. She said, no, I'm not taking, no more tall guys, no more tall guys. You now okay with your tall legs. So she might be dealing with those kinds of things. But if you stay there, be nice. One nail, what they call it, show? One nail does not usually mean that no. Because some ladies, there's one skit that was moving around where the lady was telling one guy that he was wicked, that you're a very wicked guy. The guy said, how am I wicked? You say you were not doing. He said, I just told you once, you just left. Some girls want you to hear it because if I ask my wife, even now that I've been married to her, if I ask her, are you okay? She says, yes, and I go away. She will call me back, why are you behaving like that? I said, how many times do I have to ask her, are you okay? She said, just keep asking me until I answer you. So most times now I prepare myself, I just make sure that I have like 20, are you okay? So are you okay? I'll go. Are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? Are you sure? Is everything fine? Did I do anything? When you're a married person, you have a lot of lyrics. Not you young boys, you are too raw. No skill. You are too in a hurry. Stay there. Buy shawarma. Buy ice cream. Do some things. Call her. Say, how far? How are you doing? Nothing, I just let me check on you. What's up with you? How is your friend? How's Momsi? How is Popsi? Just be talking. After a while, if you don't call her, she'll be looking forward to the call. 1 week, you give break. Upper week, you resume. What's up? I'll just pass in. Don't be pursuing her up and down like fly. If she appears there, you appear. No, give her space. Use one eye to be monitoring where she is per time. All these guys, people are too dry. You monitor her. That's what they say. Church girls are marrying. They are marrying bad boys. Bad boys, they sabi. They know how to do it. They'll just put shawarma on your chair and walk away. I just say secret admirer. The day you find out, guys, you guys are dumb, man. Do things. Some of them are saying no, but they are saying yes in their mind. They just need time. Do you get what I'm trying? There's somebody that said, after she finally agreed to a proposal that the person gave, he said, so that thing that you said is yes. The person said, okay. That's why she didn't say yes since. You will somersault, you will dance, you will make it look. There's a way to a woman's heart. There are too many fine girls in church wasting. They are just dead. After some time, they'll say, there's no even brother in this our church. There are many brothers that are not just showing you. You don't know how to do these things. You people should come for coaching. Let's teach you. Girls have changed mind many times. If beauty can marry beast, are you that much of a beast? I beg you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, this one, his girlfriend doesn't allow him to touch our phone. And he wants to know why. And then, I don't understand this question, but it sounds like if your girlfriend asks, why do you love me? What do you say? Or something like that. I mean...
Okay, so let me first tell you. You see, there are many reasons why she may not want you to touch the phone, even for a guy. Let's not always say that it is because of cheating. The girl she may be doing a business that the alert is heavy. You open the phone and you see 2 million, you will first faint. Where's this guy getting money? So that's one, yes. The moment you are going into the marriage part, we're cutting. I've introduced you to my parents. I've introduced you to my pastor. Our marriage is in November. Our marriage is in December. We have book hall. We have even bought gown. At that point, you must be transparent. Because there's something about transparency. When you are not transparent, so light has to go through an object. If it cannot go through an object, it casts a shadow. Right? If you are not transparent, there will always be that shadow in the mind of the person. You may not be doing anything wrong, but as long as you are not transparent, I can't see through you. I will always think that something is wrong somewhere. My mind will not be at rest. Now, let me tell you something. Trust is not automatic in relationship or marriage. Trust is a function of time. So I can love you automatically, but I cannot trust you automatically. It is track records that make me trust you or distrust you. So if normally you are not truthful about anything, I cannot trust you because I married you or because I'm in a relationship with you. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So when people are blackmailing you to say, what is a relationship without trust? Actually, yes. What is a relationship without trust? You must show me track record. That's why if I am going anywhere today after 12 years, if I change my mind, I send my wife a chat. Because in this time where there's Instagram and Photoshop, whatever, when there is Instagram and Facebook and all of those, I could say I am going to Use, and then for some reason, genuine reason, I end up in Gwarimpa. And then Annie sees me, and she does a selfie with me. And she puts it on her status. And my wife sees it and says, Annie, where did you see my husband? He said, I saw him in Gwarimpa. One event, comma in the mind. He told me he was going to Use. Then the next day, the same thing happens. And I desist on that selfie, because that's where they'll be just balling with Pastor Harrison. In Use, cause distraught. You are going to Use. It's not where I said I was going. She can be sure where I am per time. So what I'm trying to say is trust must be earned in a relationship. So when you are getting close to marriage, open your phone. What was that other question?
The other question wasn't clear. All right, Dr. Sui. Okay, so this is the last question. So this person he said, what if you know you need a therapy, but you don't know exactly what is wrong? Number 2, You have spoken to people you thought you could trust, and they spread your issue, so you are unable to trust anyone enough to be vulnerable. This includes people within your space and random therapists.
Problems about resources and places that people can, is what I do. Do you understand? So it's not information that is out there that you can actually get help. Any reason, you have any reason to believe that, there's something wrong and you need to talk to someone. So there are two ways that this goes. So we usually start by talking to our friends or people around us. That is, when we talk about community, we first think around people around us, then we talk about church, we talk about, maybe family and all that. But a lot of times we don't understand that we can actually get professional help. So the first thing I want to say today is that don't be ashamed, to reach out to ask for help. Tell someone, maybe you confide in someone that, do you know that I actually have, problems sleeping or problem. People take that information sometimes and spread it within their network. And then that even makes you more vulnerable. So what I would say, at least if it's, having said that, I would like to just break down three, this, please, what was the second question? So I just, into create networks. I talked about community and support. One of the first things that you need to do is you need to, so as you walk on that path of self-discovery, one of the things that you need to do consciously and deliberately, and no one can do it for you, is to kind of rate what you do with different friendships that come into your life. So I personally, I have mentors. I have professional mentors. I have spiritual mentors, okay? These are people that over time I have built a relationship with and I can trust. I have friends that come to my house for general gisting. Like, how are you, your birthday and all that. You cannot catch me. Now, you can't just confide in people like that. Do you understand? So I know that it's very challenging, but sometimes you meet somebody for the first time and there's that pressure to just open up. And even in relationship, it happens a lot, Some of the reasons why girls get into relationships where they become extremely vulnerable is because you meet somebody for the first day, you tell him your life history. Do you understand? So we need to first understand that as much as we say that issues need to be dealt with, there are no things that you keep in your heart. But it's not just to anybody. Authorship today, but it's an important point about him, and I prayed about it, saying, so trust is built over time. It's better starting something. She wants to use it to score a point with somebody else. She goes, and then, can this person help you? When you want to open up to someone, the first question to ask is, what is the purpose of wine? But it's very dangerous to do that. I'm very sensitive to the things that have happened to her. So, one thing I want to say is that, maybe I'm depressed or something, and then you put all those things down, okay? So I think that this is the best thing. I'm going to start to talk, and things hunt people down their lives because they opened up to the wrong person. It is very critical. Don't just talk. Don't talk anyhow. It's part of that self. Don't just wake up and just be someone and say, that. Don't do that. The most important thing is that once you get to understand where the problem is, do it, and help is available. Done, drug user. So there's help, but you need to connect with the right. You need to be talking to the right person. And then, lastly, if you need help, get on your knees, lie on the ground. Father, Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me. Help me. Bring me help. Do you know that as you are praying there, God can drop the name of the person that you should talk to in your mind? Like this professional mentor I gave you an example about. I prayed. I said, I need a professional mentor in this area. And then God made a way for that to happen. So go on your knees, pray, and ask God, how do I handle this situation? And he will guide you. Praise God.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, the last question, so we can go home. Pastor Harrison, what do you think about women shooting their shots? That's women making a move, yeah. And then what do you do? Okay, so what do you do after praying that God will give you a partner and he shows you the person, but the person doesn't like you back?
Okay, so let me say it. And the reason, right? They can shame you. They can, so. And as you're wanting on the gas and start putting curry in his head, to talk to. I hope. Truth of the matter is, some guys, this is the person you hear God when it comes to a boyfriend or a guy. Something is A is going to. This was the guy. My wife knew that I was the guy before I even said anything. It was later she was telling me that even in her house, everybody has started. They've claimed me already for her. I'm telling you. But she will tell them, don't open your mouth to say anything to him. If he comes here, just shut up your mouth. She already knew since. When I was just murmuring about doing ministry. Say, this girl is a serious sister in the Lord. This girl is a good wife material for any brother. That's how God opened my mind. I talk about having friends. That's how which of them can I marry? Because she fits and everything, And then thank God, she also helped me, made it easy for me. Because we were just beating around the bush. I say, if you remember, it's not be nice. So I was just trying to find a way, but she made it easy for me, and thank God for God. So don't say God and then start working it. You now start, because you see God next tomorrow. He said, this shawarma, we sell it in the cafe, that's why. All right, so what I'm trying to say is that if God told you, go and sleep. The same thing for guys. If God tells you about a girl, that this is the girl, go and sleep. It is God that orchestrates it. I'm telling you, the day that it will happen, you won't believe. So go and sleep. And then if it's 1 year is passing, and it seems like it's not coming to pass, move on. Otherwise, that this girl is the love of her life, the love of his. And our pastor then said, are you sure? Because our pastor had information about the girl that he didn't have. So the guy said, no, God, there are very few times that God has spoken to me. This one was clear, express. So my pastor said, no problem. They wanted to start the counseling, so they went to do a test. The girl was HIV positive. So my pastor said, okay, so she's HIV positive. When you said God said, I was trying to, but because I looked at it, I said, maybe God had just had mercy on this girl. This is beautiful, yeah. The guy said, God forbid. So I can't, and it's not now that forbid. My pastor said, God cannot forbid what he said. And he denied. Emotion sounds like God. When you like somebody, you like somebody, you see the person in your dream with white and holding a very big ring, which is very symbolic of marriage. You will see all of those things. And you'll be seeing the person back to back. Visions. You're in church, close your eyes. When you close your eyes, you just see him. You see, this must be God. And then you can even now say that you want to fleece. Is it fleecing they call it? You want to do fleecing. You now say, God, if I'm going to church, God, how loud can you be? This must be you.
Yeah, and Pastor Harrison, please let's give them a round of applause. If you have any other question, you can approach them. No, not here now. You can approach them. Do you understand? Thank you.
Please, another round of applause for our speakers and our panelists. Did we have fun today? Did we learn anything today? So let's give God a round of applause. Let's celebrate Jesus. Let's celebrate Jesus. Let's celebrate Jesus. It has been awesome. This is day 2. And we just completed the session for the day. So let's celebrate the Father for the excess love he has shown us. Let's celebrate God once more. Let's celebrate God. And let's also celebrate the speakers. Come on. Did they do well today? Did they do well today? Pastor Ayo Ajani had to fly in and out of Abuja because of you and I. So can we celebrate him one more time? And let's also give another round of applause to Pastor Harrison, Dr. Sui, Mrs. Enyola Peters. Despite their schedule, they made it possible to be here just for us. So a few announcements. So tomorrow is the grand finale. Tomorrow is the grand finale of the conference. So we'll be having our Thanksgiving services. First service starts by 7 a.m. and second service by 8:30 a.m. Please, let's be punctual. Let's be punctual for the services so you can attend either of the services. All right. So you can also follow us on our Instagram handle, HH Singles Connect. So HH for Holy Hill Singles Connect. So you can all follow us so you get all the information about all our events, everything. And I'm sure you want to see your good pictures, video clips, and everything. You can follow us on HH Singles Connect. All right, or you can search with Holy Hill Singles Connect, and you'll find all the information you need about our events. Okay, let's close this session. Let's quickly rise as we take the closing prayer. Father, we thank you for such an amazing love and your excess love that you've shown us. The first day was great. Our hearts. We pray that our hearts will be fertile grounds, that your word will multiply in our lives, and your word will reflect in our lives. In everything that concerns us, you take control. Father, we pray that we see your love in anything that we do, and we'll never doubt you. We'll trust you and for all that are connected online, that you will do what no man can do for us. That you show your hands in our lives. You show your hand, you show your finger, you show your hand, you show your outstretched arm, and you even show your presence in our lives. You show up for us, and we bask in your mercy and your grace. This is all we've asked of you, and we believe that you've done it already. For in Jesus' name we have prayed. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for coming, and have a lovely day.